guys, welcome to this week's AMA. It's great to be back chatting to the community. We were just saying before this that it's been a while, it's been too long, and we've definitely been champing at the bit to get back and update you guys on what's been going on. So as always, we definitely want as many questions as possible, so feel free to pop those in the chat as we go. We've got a couple from Discord members already that we're definitely going to cover off. But yeah, really in terms of the plan of attack for today, we're going to update you on everything that's been going on behind the scenes in terms of getting ready for the launch of Blüm Finance. Now that we firmed up the launch date as the 15th of May, we'll tell you a bit about what we expect the impact to be on the wider ecosystem. We're going to talk all about the marketing plan, communications plan, and also just some of the things we're really excited about to support the success of the launch. In terms of deposit bonus, referral program, etc., etc. So there's lots and lots that we're going to get into that's really going to maximize the success of the launch. So to begin with, I think Aaron will chuck it over to you and let's just step back in time, almost remind ourselves, remind everyone, why are we going down the route of a single stake offering? And yeah, tell us what you're excited about.
And anything that I leave out, feel free for you guys to jump in to fill things in. But yeah, Blüm Finance is, for anyone that's not aware, it's going to be basically the vehicle we're going to use to become the greatest and largest crypto staking platform by 2025, which is our vision. It's focused on single staking, simplicity. It's transparent, it's based on a blockchain. So we feel that it really fits what our target market wants, and that's an easy way to buy crypto, to earn with their crypto. And it ties in really well with all of our existing protocols, because those assets that get single staked, we can then put those to work in all of our seigniorage protocol farms, which once healthy, as we all know, they pay extremely well. So it's something where it's going to be really beneficial for the protocol. It's going to be great for all the users of Blüm Finance and all of our existing protocols. Yeah, really exciting times, and it's all going to fit together very nicely.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great overview, and we'll get into some more of the detail around that. So yeah, it's been a while, right, since we did our last AMA. Let's kind of talk about what's been going on. Why have we taken a bit of time? I guess from our initial launch date, which was back in January, when we expect to be going live with our iOS and our Android Bomb Money app, to what's been going on now to get us to Blüm. So I think we can all chip in on this, but Aaron, why don't you kind of kick off on that one?
Yeah. So, sorry, I missed the beginning of what you said of exactly what I was talking about.
That's all right. It's always long-winded. I was just saying, so obviously we've sort of changed the plan of attack slightly. We were initially expecting to launch with an iOS and an Android app. Yeah. The Blüm proposition is different and in many ways better. Let's kind of talk a bit about the go-forward proposition with Blüm.
Yeah, so I've always been a fan of having, the single code base kind of to serve every single platform. I know, like, from the user perspective, they don't really care about the code base, but there's a lot of ways that will be beneficial to everybody, such as having a more reliable service across every platform, where we can expect them to operate the exact same way across all of them. If there's a problem on one, it's probably going to be across all of them. It's going to allow us to improve things and build new features in without having to test all these radically different environments. There's a lot of benefits to how we're doing it now, and yeah, I've always really liked that approach. So plus, having to switch away from the native applications to doing, obviously our own web-based app that you can still install on desktop and mobile, but basically a web-based app. It lost my train of thought there. There's a big advantage. What was I going to say?
Well, as you say, having the single code base is definitely useful in the sense that it requires far less developer capacity to manage on an ongoing basis. It means that we can channel all of our efforts into providing the best experience on that single platform effectively. So yeah, I think that's the kind of point you were making.
Yeah, no, also I think it's it's because of that switch from mobile to the single app that we kind of re-looked at the branding of everything, right? Because we already had our apps launched with the Bomb app, right? So that's not something that you can just change. We would have had to get approvals done again to launch a new app under Blüm. So I'm not sure if the name change would have ever happened if we would have, got approved by iOS or by Apple. And so I think just for that reason alone, the stronger branding that's going to work so much better for our target market made it in itself worthwhile. That's what
just to touch on the just to touch on the stronger branding and the shift from Bomb to Blüm. We got a lot of feedback. We did a lot of customer research, and a lot of the feedback we got was that Bomb was kind of an off-putting name for the traditional finance market. It's an awesome name for DeFi, and we saw a lot of success with it in the DeFi and crypto crowd. But as we're starting to try and move towards a more traditional finance segment, people felt kind of off-put by the Bomb name, which was understandable, and we're glad that we get feedback like that, right? Because when we just talk amongst ourselves, we're like, oh yeah, Bomb's great, but then that's why it's so great to get third-party feedback. And we got thousands of people contributing towards this customer research, and it all led us to Blüm Finance. And we really love the name. We love the new branding. If we're gonna have a sneak peek at the site that's being developed right now, but you'll see it's a lot more welcoming. It's an approachable brand, and it's really geared like entirely to get that traditional finance crowd to embrace crypto. And I think we've done a really good job with that. And I can't wait to share some of that soon.
Yeah, 100%. I think even, on top of that, we've been looking at a lot of other successful either protocols or traditional finance businesses and looking at what their websites look like what are they doing to convert leads? What are they doing to kind of portray their, opportunities to the users? And, we've learned a lot from some of these huge competitors, in crypto and outside of crypto. And we've applied a lot of that to the branding and just our whole, I guess, plan of how we're going to convert, potential leads into actual users and, make sure we convert the highest percentage possible. And that's going to make our ad money go very far. And, we'll be able to just keep putting fuel on the fire, basically, once we have that system nice and oiled, which we're getting there.
Yeah, definitely. But I think as well, the branding, as you guys say, is just, evolved so significantly from Bomb. And on top of that, obviously, it's the case that, the Blüm app is just, its whole focus is simplicity. And I know we've been talking about that for a while, but I think it's just important to continually emphasize, that's what Blüm is all about. It's the easiest way for anyone to get into crypto. There's no need for people to have an existing Web3 wallet to interact with the protocol. If you prefer, as we expect many users to, you can basically get started with your Web2 login details for the likes of, your Google login, Discord login, etc., through the Taurus integration that we have. And through all of the user research that Marcus referenced, we've really made sure to push ourselves and, test that what we think will work well in terms of the user journey, actually does for people that, don't have that prior crypto knowledge. So, and sorry, by the way, if you heard my Amazon Echo going off behind me, it was chattering away there. So yeah, obviously there's so much to get into. Should we have a look at the website, and then we can perhaps sort of step through why the Blüm proposition is better than what we were initially anticipating because of the wider range of assets that will be available. And then we can talk about the deposit bonus, the referral program, etc.
One other thing real quick. So in regards to what you just mentioned about supporting additional assets on Blüm, so we already have the first step of that completed, which is the bridging. So we now, our own bridge that we do in-house, it now supports a lot more tokens and a lot more networks. So if anyone that's used that or wants to use that can go over to bombswap.xyz. Or I can just show that real quick, actually. So I gotta go on a chain that we support. course, the one time it ever goes slow is while we're demoing it.
Obviously.
And just while you're doing that, just a quick reminder for everyone that's here with us live, if you do have any questions, comments, feedback, don't be shy, just pop them in and we'll make sure to cover them off.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, but there's now an option to choose your destination chain. And when you choose your destination chain, that's then switching, which assets are available. So, as you can see for Ethereum, we support Wrapped ETH, Wrapped BTC. For BNB, we support the same as before. I think those are the same that we've always had. No, we didn't have BNB before, I don't believe. So we got that. And then for Polygon, we just have Matic, I believe. Yep.
Nice. I know this was almost done, but I didn't know it was already available. That's awesome.
And
let's go Bloomers.
We still need to add AVAX here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah. So that obviously that functionality is all going to be, and available in the Blüm Finance app. It's going to be super simple to use. This is more of like the DeFi side of it for you DeFi degens out there. So.
Yeah, for sure. Although it's worth saying, so definitely if anyone, wants to go and have a look at that, do. But if you were to bridge Polygon or any of those assets over, there's not actually going to be anything on Bomb Chain to do with them at the moment.
Not quite yet.
Yeah, likely in the future.
Although speaking of that, maybe it's worth launching some farms on bombs on the vaults page for those tokens, like kind of the same way that we have all these other ones that we have. Might be worth just having like a even with low rewards, just to have something with Matic and just to get some liquidity on Bomb Chain for those, right? With Matic, with AVAX, with BNB, because we don't have those incentivized right now, right? Like the
that's true.
Those new tokens that we support. So like Ethereum, BNB, AVAX, and Polygon. Should probably get some farms going for those. So at least people have a reason to bridge them over, even in the short term.
Yeah.
And just for the liquidity, of course. I mean, it's beneficial if they're tradable. So
yeah, cool. But yeah, no, as you say, it's going to be very seamless for the Blüm users, so they won't have to engage directly with a bridge at all. But yeah, the tech behind it, as a non-techie myself, is very, very impressive. And I'm bowled over that's ready already, to be honest.
Yep. Shout out to Demos for a lot of that work. That's
totally.
Oh yeah,
pretty crazy stuff. What that guy can pull off.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. But yeah, so shall we have a look then at the Blüm website?
Here we go.
Which we're still finalizing, but we just want to give you guys a bit of a sense of how things are shaping up, the branding, the look, the feel, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, and as you guys can see it, it's at Blüm.finance already, so it's available for people to look at if they want to check it out. But I do keep in mind it's in the early stages in terms of content. So this is more just the design and all of our branding.
We do have a little question. Should we take it while we're looking on the website? Has to do with Blüm Finance. Good luck with Blüm launch. Question regarding offered yield. Most tomb forks have had to pivot from relying on new money coming in to generating real yields. Has Bomb done the same? If so, what?
So, I mean, we have a different strategy, essentially. Our strategies, we've been pretty vocal about it. We're launching Blüm Finance in order to bring in funds to make the farms healthy. We do have external sources of yield. I'm trying to think what they are. I can't think off the top of my head, but I think we do have.
Yeah, I mean, the key thing is, right, that I think the crux of this question from Marion is very valid, is, most tomb forks in these challenging market conditions have failed, and the ones that are doing okay, they've kind of pivoted in terms of their strategy. I would say that's absolutely what we're doing through Blüm Finance, right? Because essentially it'll be the case that, users will stake the funds, as Aaron referenced earlier, will be deployed within the farms for fixed periods. Yes, so it's not that you can stake and unstake at any time. You get really great high sustainable yields over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12-month periods. And what that then means is that, there's much more certainty over the periods that liquidity will remain there. Obviously, we can be much more planful in the way that funds are deployed in terms of location, but also timing, etc. as well. And all of that, is great in terms of an overall protocol health perspective, because one of the main issues with tomb forks is, that understandably, many people, don't operate in the best interests of the protocol. They sell every penny of their rewards, and, they just do that when they want. But there'll be far more sort of control and planning around, the points that funds are deployed, which helps in overall health. So sorry, that was a kind of rambly answer. And then on top of that, though, obviously, in terms of other revenue sources, as BOM chain expands, and there's greater activity on it, it's the case that the BOM validators will therefore be receiving higher rewards. And then on top of that, as part of some of our longer term strategy pieces that we haven't set firm launch dates for, we are sort of looking at various things that we would offer as a service, just to further sort of expand revenue sources.
So like, just to kind of redo my answer that I gave earlier, I think like the fun of tomb forks is, being able to, for one, obviously to have those prints coming out every 6 hours, or and being able to actually sell your rewards, right? Like it's something where it's really fun to be able to use a tomb fork the way that they were intended right from the beginning. And, just like you were able to do with BOM in the early stages, and just having a healthy protocol. So I think that, with the inflows that we're going to get through Blüm Finance, and to have the actual tomb forks operate as the tomb forks as everybody knows and loves, that's going to be very different from, other tomb forks out there where they're, I've seen a lot of these yields that other tomb forks are trying to generate. And, it's the kind of yields that you'd have to generate in order to bring a protocol healthy when everybody's just dumping the token is going to be astronomical. And it's like, why are you even running a tomb fork at that point if you have all this external revenue just to pump your peg token? It doesn't really make sense, right? So I think if you have if a protocol has the opportunity to make that kind of yield, it should probably be done separately outside of a tomb fork, because that's not what a tomb fork is for, right? In my opinion. So, and once again, we all know how this works, right? So once once you're above peg and the share tokens pump, now all of a sudden your farms are paying better than any other protocol out there. And yeah, I mean, it snowballs quickly. And as long as we have the consistent inflows coming, it doesn't really matter who wants to sell how much at whatever point, right? It's something where it almost always better be, better off in a farm to generate yield as opposed to dumping the peg token. But if there's enough inflows, it doesn't really matter how much peg tokens get dumped.
And another thing,
sorry, yeah.
Another thing that, as Rob was mentioning, generating revenue, selling things as service, a lot of the hurdles that we had to overcome as we were launching Blüm and different protocols, we found there's a huge gap for specific things in DeFi that we could then package up and sell to other companies that are going to try and do similar things and sell those as service. So we do have, as Rob said, that in our roadmap, and that's definitely going to add to some of the yields coming in.
Yeah. And cool. Sorry, Simon, I'm going to briefly jump one comment just to go, which we will go back to, but I think...
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to go to as well.
Cool.
So the funds coming in from Blüm depositors act almost like the project-owned liquidity in the environment.
Yes and no, not really. So essentially when funds come in from Blüm depositors, what our goal or what our job is as a protocol is to put those funds to work safely within our ecosystem. But that position is still owned by the person that's single staked, essentially not directly owned, but we have that obligation to return their funds with yield at the end of their stake period. So when the protocols are healthy or even getting close to becoming healthy, the APRs are going to be quite substantially higher on the DeFi side as opposed to the single staking side. So the protocol is going to generate quite a bit of revenue, and that's going to contribute towards protocol owned liquidity. And just having big reserves of single assets as well, just so that we can, make things healthy in case, things take a turn for the worst or just to be safe. But
Yeah.
Although it's not a perfect analogy, I do kind of agree with it. Well, not it's not a black and white thing, but for the lock duration of the depositor's money, it will kind of act as protocol own liquidity in the sense that it will be, used like you were saying earlier, used in an optimal way in a tomb fork and bomb fork in all of our protocols. So it will help stabilize the project, all of our projects, which I think it's kind of the way I see it, and I think it's one of the most really interesting things, and the most exciting thing is kind of seeing it this way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was going to say it's not that it's protocol owned liquidity in the same way as it would be for bonding, but it has a number of the similar benefits at least. So yeah, I think I
think that's what he meant by act almost
exactly.
like.
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. Cool. We got some comments on look and feel.
And also, thanks for all the questions, guys. If you guys want any more clarity on any of that, feel free to.
Yep. So color scheme behind diamond is awesome, much better than all white. I agree, and I think some of us do, most of us do. Although one of the things we're trying to do, and a lot of our competitors, and what we're trying to become, is to offer kind of a bank feel, something very approachable, and often that's kind of a whiter theme. I prefer a darker theme everywhere, in everything I do, but I think that the whiter theme is a bit more approachable. Although I do kind of agree that the darker theme looks boss.
Yeah, I think most degens, myself included, prefer moody dark theme vibes. But yeah, the research suggests that the target market prefer lighter color schemes. So.
And the good thing is that having both versions, like we can use the dark logos in marketing material and advertisements, right? And as long as they come here, still see the same general color palette, it still flows well. But yeah, I think everybody agrees the one behind that looks slick. I'm glad I showcased the ugly one here.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, much more to be done in terms of building out the website's content ahead of the 50th. We'll continually be adding to that.
Shouldn't that start with a seed?
Yeah, I guess.
Close.
Cool. All right. Should we talk about some of the things then beyond the asset expansion that are going to put us in an even stronger position for launch? So we can maybe talk about the deposit bonus first, and then we can tie that into changes to the referral program as well. Do you want to kick that on, Aaron, on the deposit bonus first of all?
Yeah. Oh wait, I just got corrected. That apparently was a seed. Yeah. So the initial deposit bonus is actually something that I'm really excited about. Mainly just because I know how well that automated marketing and converting leads has worked in the past. When you have a strong way to generate a lead, and when we're going to be able to say, learn how to get started with $1,000 free right now. Who's not going to put their email address in? And like we're actually going to be giving up to $1,000 position in the crypto asset of the user's choosing for signing up. There's not a catch, but the way that in order to be able to receive that, so you'll see basically what's going to happen is when you sign up or when you just drop your email address on our website, it's going to tell you how you can basically get $1,000 of crypto in any of the assets that we support. You're going to go pick the asset, and that stake position is going to show up in your wallet right away. So without you having to, basically just by giving us your email address, you're going to get a free stake position. That's pretty much the trade-off there. That's pretty much all that you have to give us. And essentially you're going to have to make a stake position in the first 3 months after you get that free position equal to 10 times the value of that free position in order to be able to keep it. So in other words, you don't have to go for a full $1,000 free position unless you have the ability to deposit 10,000 worth of that asset later. So yeah, but if you want to take a smaller free position, then obviously the deposit requirement is going to be a lot lower for what you need to actually keep that position. But, we think that's going to be extremely strong, just to be able to show people, their account growing, show them exactly how our system works, and to do all that with zero risk to them, not having to pay a single dollar to do anything. And just to be able to see all that. And it makes our marketing so strong, because we can generate a lead so easily by telling people, hey, get $1,000 free. Just give us your email. We'll tell you how. Right. And that just drops into our automated email campaigns. And, we'll keep firing those off until they sign up. And yeah, it's really going to be a great system.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts of that is, like you were saying, it creates that position in your wallet immediately. So if I give an email address, it's not like, okay, now I have to go and do something to receive my bonus. You're let's say it's $100 worth of Ethereum position. You go into your wallet tomorrow and you're going to see it's now worth like $100.50 or something. And you go there in a couple of weeks, you'll see it's now worth like $115 or whatever the case may be, right? And so you're actually seeing your Ethereum grow, not just because of the APR, but also potentially Ethereum could have an explosion, or Bitcoin could get up to 100K. So you're kind of getting a feel for being in the crypto market before you've even done anything. And now you have that position in your wallet. And we're going to, like Aaron said, we're going to be sending emails saying, hey, if you'd like to unlock this free position, get started now by depositing. And the most powerful part of this is that we're going to have email addresses for DeFi users, which, as you can imagine, is one of the biggest challenges in DeFi marketing. Is there's no way to contact people. You can't send a message to a MetaMask wallet or like a random address, right? Like it's almost impossible to direct message to people. So we have such a big advantage with the way that we're going with this, and the fact that people can now sign up with Web 2 details that they're used to. We're kind of merging the Web 2 and Web 3 experience, and that's going to be very powerful for Blüm. And as you'll see with all the different Senior Rush protocols that we've got, and then of course PegHub at the end, there's just going to be so many good things happening for the entire ecosystem.
Oh yeah. This promo has me really excited. I really think that there's a lot of work going on in the background. We talked about the bridge, full bridge with multiple networks. We talked about this campaign, organizing the email campaign that has a sign-up bonus, has links with the smart contracts. There's a lot of work going on in the background that sometimes doesn't look like much up front, or looks like we're not going fast these days, but there is a lot going on, and a lot of good things coming. Talking about the email as well, we will be launching some kind of similar to Glean campaigns, but in a Web3 environment. So that's another way that we're going to be able to tie, profiles, people profiles, some of our users, and send out promos, send out, bonuses, that kind of thing, to the DeFi crowd, which is pretty awesome.
And just to add to what we were talking about in terms of having emails for our DeFi users, or for our Blüm Finance users. Well, first I should say it's not going to be required. That's optional. If somebody wants to jump into Blüm and they don't want to give their email, they won't get the $1,000 or up to $1,000 initial bonus, but they can still participate any way that they want. So we don't, it's not mandatory. But so for the users that we do have their email address, there's so many different things that we can do now that we couldn't do before. Such as if we have some kind of promotion coming up, we can blast that to everybody that's agreed to accept our emails, right? Now we can have, in front of thousands of people, they can now see, hey, we have a special APR for the weekend, or for, or for the next week, or whatever it might be. So we can, we'll have the ability to drive a lot of, inflows probably to whichever assets we want, just by running a promotion and telling people about it. Other things that we can do. So once somebody takes a initial bonus, they have 3 months to deposit to actually be able to keep that. There's some really strong marketing emails that we can send out if they haven't made that deposit yet, right? So one of them maybe after a month, after they got their free position, or maybe even after only 2 weeks, just to keep it fresh in their head. So we can have, we'll have a whole series of emails that will go out over that 3-month period, provided that they have not made the deposits yet to be able to keep it. As soon as they make that deposit to be able to keep the position, we'll switch their email campaign to a nurture campaign or something like that. But it's really powerful what we'll be able to do with the emails and the automation that we have set up.
Yeah. And just to emphasize again, I mean, all of this we wouldn't have had we launched back in January, right? So I think this is just, a massive evolution in terms of what we're doing. So in my view, it's been well worth the additional time investment to do things like this, and obviously expand the asset choices too.
Yeah, I think I said it in our last AMA, but I'll say it again. Like, just having that clear vision of, from advertising to fully having a customer that's starting to refer people, to see that entire flow and have it well defined like we do now, it's something that we never had in the past, right? Like we're just saying, okay, we're going to send, users to this website and we're going to hope to convert them. If we don't, then hopefully we'll convert the next one, right? Like we didn't really have any like solid plan to, really get everyone from whatever stage they're at in the process to the next stage, and like a really strong way to get them over to that next stage. And we have that all really well defined right now. So, I mean, it'll be hard to not see results with that in place, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, cool. So
another little comment here. Oh, sorry.
No.
Just a quick comment. I'll be depositing some of my huddle coins to get that sweet bonus. Good idea. Or if people have, a set, I put $300 a month into crypto, kind of DCAing. You can set that up in a way to select your bonus so that fits your DCA. Create a couple every month. Create a little position, and at the end of that 3 months, you unlock your bonus. And you see it right away.
Make sure all those deposits over the 3 months would equal the 10 times.
Yeah, exactly. Small calculation to do, but yeah.
I guess one thing to keep in mind though is because we're doing it off of the actual amount of the asset. So let's just say you take I don't know, half an Ethereum for your bonus, right? That's around $1,000. So if Ethereum's at 4,000, let's say in 3 months, and you want to make your deposit, it's going to be twice as expensive at that time, because you're going to need 10 times what you initially got for free, which would now be 5 Ethereum. But again, 5 Ethereum might cost 20,000 then instead of 10,000 that it would cost now. So
this actually makes sense. If you have a little bag of HODL funds, just set it up for 1/10 of what you got, deposit your HODL funds, and bing, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And then, it'll be the case that we still offer a referral program as well. We think that's definitely key to building additional hype around the launch. Given what we're doing with the deposit bonus, we have revised that slightly. So whereas we planned for that to be £50 for the person referring, 50 for the referee, we've now revised that to 25 and 25. But yeah, still very generous, and there's the additional incentive through the deposit bonus, or the initial stake bonus, I should say.
Speaking of that referral bonus, do you have any plans and agreements in place with influencers using the referral bonus scheme?
Not necessarily like agreements with influencers. We're trying to stray away from the crypto bro influencer for this specifically for Blüm Finance, right? It's just not the exact crowd that we're targeting. They're not going to be looking at Blüm APRs. Like the crypto bros are used to getting 1,000% APR, and just aping into whatever their crypto bro tells them to. But what we're pivoting from is actually going to more traditional influencers. So you'll start seeing some of that as we launch. We're going to have influencers that have more of a traditional audience, like they'll be doing home decor type of things, and like parenting type influencers, and getting into those and having them talk about Blüm Finance to that target, where just introducing them to crypto, that's the kind of target audience that we're really going to be starting to go after. And it's going to be a lot easier because we're really going to be focusing on the Web2 experience. So trying to say, this is like your introductory, this is how you're going to get into crypto. That's the kind of messaging that we're going to be going to. So you can kind of see why we don't really want those crypto guys. They can still make a lot of money with our referral program, and we're still going to be like going after them and saying, hey, you guys can make a ton if you give this to your audience. But the main focus is going to be on TradFi, which is the whole purpose of the rebrand.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're right. Like the traditional, or the crypto bros will definitely be very interested in this, and I think will naturally want to get on board. And don't get me wrong, we will certainly be very open to that. But yeah, just aligned to our target market, we've got to slightly revise who we're working with from an influencer standpoint.
Although, I mean, I think there's still, it still makes sense, I think, to go with that original plan of trying to get influencers to, use their referral codes to, we have a lot of improvements planned around that as well. Like, I don't think we implemented yet, like the custom referral codes where you could like create one, like, so an influencer can make it like their channel name or whatever it is. So just to make it that much easier to give people your code.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be something that we definitely do in the future. Because even if it's like, not the perfect service for the degens, it's something where everybody wants to make free money, right? So if somebody can just make a video and, get $25 for every person that, signs up, I think that's something they'd be willing to do.
Yeah.
So, thanks for the answer, guys. Sounds like a cohesive, logical plan. Got to shoot now, but we'll watch the rest later on. Blüm on. Have it a great afternoon, Captain Hindsight.
Yep. Thanks for all the great questions.
But for the referral bonus that we are offering to certain of the crypto bros, often it has to do with a lot of the degens. And we do have some good coming for all the degens out there, all of our more long-term investors. Kind of leads us to another point that we wanted to talk about today. What does all this mean? What are the ecosystem change and the rebranding change mean for the tokens? What kind of impact are we going to see on the tokens of our current ecosystem?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. So, Aaron, do you want to kick it off, or I'm happy to give some thoughts?
I mean, it's really just going to be our opinion of what we feel is going to do well. So
no financial advice here, but
yeah, I mean, I guess I can put this back up on the screen. We can look at some of the protocols. All of the protocols have at least one asset that we're going to support on Blüm right at launch. So in the case here, it's going to be Bitcoin, and we're actually going to have two from CZ Pegs, going to have BNB and Ethereum. That ETH will, once we eventually launch on Ethereum mainnet, I'm sure a lot of the ETH will funnel towards that. But for now, this is our best ETH option. And we got Polypegs with Matic and Snowpegs with a couple of different peg choices, but we'll be doing AVAX right out of the gate. So what does that mean for the token prices? Most likely it means that the pegs increase quite heavily on those tokens, and share tokens move up accordingly with the tokens getting closer to printing. So,
and you'll see some of these, like the TVL on Snowpegs is 17K across 4 tokens. Like, it's virtually no inflow from Blüm required to peg it. So and we're giving people the option so they can pick whichever Blüm token they want. But, just a few people picking AVAX is going to have significant impacts to SnowShare and the entire Snowpeg site. Because like Aaron's saying, SnowShare goes up. All the other ones are going to go up. Same with Polypegs. I think what's Polypegs at?
It was slightly less.
Yeah, like 15K. Right? So you can see it's not going to require an insane amount of funds on Blüm to peg any of these protocols.
Yep. Wow, just looking at this still, it's like right now the shares are only 33 cents and the farm is still paying that high. So it's like,
I'll be right back, guys.
Like, if you're bullish on Polygon, like, this is the only farm that we can feed on Polygon, right? So it's like Matic basically has to go here. So I mean, this is don't want to give financial advice. Looks pretty good.
No.
Yeah, and as well as that, just a reminder for everyone that the P-Hub buybacks are driven by the share prices across these. So higher share token prices leads to higher P-Hub buybacks. So yeah, I think there's again NFA, but there's definitely a lot of opportunity across the ecosystem, especially now we're expanding the offering from just launching with one asset to launching with, one across each of the protocols. So yeah, I think very exciting times for all of us.
And
absolutely,
just to, I know there might be people watching that have heard about Blüm Finance or that don't know what these numbers on the screen mean. This is complex DeFi stuff. This is basically the back end of what's going to be funding Blüm Finance. If you want to get involved in this, we do have a lot of resources. You can go to peghub.com. There's a lot of tutorials there to teach you what PegHub is, how to get involved with that, how to actually get directly into the DeFi systems. But again, it is quite complex. So the easiest is on May 15, we're going to launch Blüm Finance, and you just pick your coin and stake it, and you'll see the APRs you're going to get.
I just pulled up the bomb chart and some other positive news. Looks like bomb may have bottomed after the huge bomb bonus promo affected the price slightly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like we've may have bottomed here. It's been pretty consistent for a while.
Nice.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think, Aaron, maybe you could talk about just all of this summarized by the PHub token, and how holding the PHub token is by far the easiest way to get involved with all of this.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that we've all pretty much agreed on from the beginning. But yeah, like the PHub token it's just a really simple way to, if all this DeFi stuff is confusing or it's too many tokens, and it's really simple to just get involved with the PHub token, because as Marcus was mentioning earlier, so all of our share tokens from all four of the protocols, those are all used to drive automatic buybacks of the PHub token. So this is it's a token where, while you can stake it in the vault, and it's worth staking it there because your position is going to grow, most of the benefits actually is going to come from price appreciation due to the buybacks. So it's a token where really you could just buy it and hold it. Although, I mean, there's really no reason not to put it in the vault, but yeah, it's a token that's it was designed to only go up in price, which will definitely happen once the shares are a little bit higher valued. And plus, once we're printing, a lot of those PEG tokens are going to be used for automatic buybacks as well. I mean, it's going to be.
That's what I was going to say.
It's going to be absolutely.
We keep missing that one.
Buybacks are, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think we've ever truly seen that in effect. It's going to be.
We had one share token. We had one share token that was kind of healthy, and we bought back like 300 tokens in like a very short period of time, and that's with the price much higher than where it's at right now on PHub. So, and that was with one share token at like 250.
Yeah, buying back 3% of the entire supply within that period.
Yeah,
because
just imagine a couple of share tokens at over 1,000 and PEG tokens feeding it. It's going to be absolutely wild.
Everyone's going to have some fun.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. But no, I think that is a good reminder on PHub, because
did I cover everything there, Marcus?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. And again, if anybody has any questions, you can either ask live now, or we're always there in our Telegram and Discord groups. You can always come by and ask questions there. Everyone's very helpful there. And you can also check this YouTube channel. Just search on the channel. We've got instructional videos for basically anything you need on this channel.
There it is. Oh, I think everyone's watching on YouTube. They probably have the link already, but just in case.
Awesome. But yeah, I as you guys were saying, all of this is, I think, super handy for the sort of seasoned DeFi investors. But Blüm Finance is going to be just, you don't need to have any knowledge of how to interact with these underlying protocols. So once the UI's all been completely finalized, in an upcoming AMA, we'll make sure to step through that as well. And yeah, it's looking incredible. It really, really is. So excited for when that's ready. Got a question as well from Azan. Let's have that.
Plans
for BOEM.
Okay, actually, it's pretty good to talk about that, I guess. So BOEM, what happened with BOEM is I kind of didn't look at it for a week or two, and the rewards got really out of control. basically the way that BOEM works is there's supposed to be, well, in order for new rewards to be able to be printed, I guess, there needs to be enough in the treasury. There has to be like an excess in the treasury to be able to cover those new reward BOEM. So that ran out. I think a couple weeks ago, perhaps the reward stopped taking over. I deposited a ton of LPs to try and get it back to up to date, and even despite putting, I don't know, I forget exactly what I put, but I put tons of LPs in the treasury. It did do a whole bunch of rewards, but it wasn't enough to get it caught up to current. So I think what we have to do is we're going to have to decrease the APR a little bit on that, and yeah, well, there's going to have to be a lot more, I guess, needs to get deposited to the treasury before that can create new rewards. Which, I mean, I can make more LPs, but just the rewards right now are like, I think it's around 600 BOEM per epoch, which is, it's 3 times a day, right? Or is it 4? 3?
I think it's 3.
Yeah, so it needs like 2,000 BOEM of excess in the treasury just to cover a day right now, right? And that's quite a bit. But yeah, so I mean, plans for BOEM is I really like the protocol, and I think that we do have some, we'll do something big with it in the future. In the short term, pretty much I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get some more reserves in the treasury so we can get those rewards taken up again. And I think, yeah, like I said, a combination of lowering the APR short term and just getting as much into that treasury as we can will get that minting new rewards.
Yeah.
If you have any other specific questions outside of what I answered, then feel free to ask.
Cool. But yeah, I don't think we've got any other questions coming through, but definitely share if you guys do have any follow-ups to that or anything else.
Take a look at the distributor contract.
Yeah.
Okay, so it hasn't done a rebase in 10 days because the treasury is dry. But okay, so the last reward it sent out was 502 BOEM. So yeah, and it grows quite a bit every single one. It's growing quite a bit. Oh. So I mean, dropping the APR is going to make that growth a little bit slower, but still quite a bit needs to get added to the treasury for it to get caught up. I was really trying to catch it up last time I did this, but it just kept doing epoch after epoch after epoch until the treasury ran dry and deposited more, and then it did the same thing and didn't quite catch up. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think we've got a follow-up question as well on that. So how will BOEM contribute towards the health of Blüm?
Nothing really needs to contribute towards the health of Blüm other than our, the way that we do marketing and everything. It's more like Blüm is going to benefit. I mean, Blüm is powered by the rest of the ecosystem. That's how we're generating yield for all the Blüm users. So the side effect of that is it makes, everything healthy where we direct inflows or where we receive inflows, and we, use those assets to get into our seniorage farms. So BOEM is more of a bomb chain project, not really related with Blüm. I mean, I guess they're related that they both operate on bomb chain. So they both drive activity to bomb chain, which is beneficial, I guess, for both. But besides that, there's not really a connection.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, when we launched BOEM, it was always that, it was basically an independent project being launched on bomb chain as opposed to, one that sort of was firmly under the Bomb Money brand. And, therefore, I guess it's worth just making that distinction. But yeah, I think it's a cool protocol. And as bomb chain activity generally grows, then, it helps bring more eyes to BOEM as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to really pinpoint what the reason that BOEM is in the current state that it's in is it really boils down to some the issues that I was having with the subgraphs just to get the stats, because we're gonna get bonding working for BOEM, because obviously Ohm is the one that pioneered the whole bonding and protocol and liquidity, and basically we wanted to get bonding launched on the BOEM site so that you can deposit LPs and get BOEM at a discount. We couldn't get the stats working properly on that, so we didn't launch that yet. And if we had done that, we wouldn't have had any issue with the treasury not having enough reserves. So that's kind of the reason why things happened the way that they did. But we're still working to get that all set up.
Another follow-up. I thought the idea of Ohm forks was to generate
Protocol and liquidity.
Protocol, thanks. Protocol and liquidity. If BOEM Treasury grows large enough, won't it reduce sell pressure on peg tokens protocols?
Yeah, so you're right about that, but that relies on us having bonding set up because bonding is the whole way that we get the protocol and liquidity. Bonding being when users will, give us liquidity and we provide them BOEM at a discount vested over a certain period of time. We just got to set that up, and then we'll have all the protocol and liquidity that we need. So it would have been really beneficial to have it set up before, back when the price point was quite a bit higher, but it's better late than never. So we'll get that set up.
Good stuff. Yeah, cool. All righty. So anything, Marcus, you want to touch on in terms of marketing around Blüm launch? I think we talked quite a bit about the plans anyway, but I'm just looking at my notes to make sure we don't miss anything. So I want to give you the opportunity if there's anything to add.
Yeah, I don't think too much that we haven't talked about already. We are going to, as Simon said, have some campaigns with good rewards going once we have the website launched to generate some traffic for some of the new socials, because we're going to be having Blüm socials as well. You can already follow us on Twitter at Blüm Finance. You'll see the account's somewhat active already. But we aren't really promoting anything because we don't want to get somebody excited about Blüm and then they don't know where to go. So that's kind of what we're waiting for, at least having a website where we can start gathering email addresses. But in the meantime, we'll likely have the website up within a week or two, and we'll be able to start getting leads on email addresses already before the actual full app is launched on May 15th.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that was a good overview. Cool. Okay. Well, just a final call for questions. But yeah, so we'll definitely be getting back to doing these AMAs more regularly. So if you've got any questions that you didn't manage to cover off today, obviously you can ask them in future AMAs, but definitely don't feel you've got to wait until then. Just swing by Discord, Telegram. We'll definitely make sure to answer you there. But yeah, no, it's definitely exciting times. The next few weeks are going to be really key. Lots going on behind the scenes to finalize the Blüm app and all of the marketing plans. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. But yeah, any final words from you guys before we get ourselves wrapped up?
No, just really excited. I'm, sorry if I haven't been around the communities as much as I had in the past. Just I'm quite busy getting everything going for Blüm. But yeah, I'll try and stop in more often. But no, it's great to see everybody today. So thanks for stopping by and watching, and for everyone that watches back, appreciate it.
100%.
Thanks everyone for your questions.
Yeah, great questions too today.
They were good questions. Yeah, definitely. Awesome. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for everyone that's here live. Thanks everyone for listening back as well. Please do just hit the like button. It definitely makes a big difference. If dropping a wee comment as well, that definitely helps. But yeah, thank you guys again. Have a great rest of your day, and we will speak to you all soon.
Great day, everyone.
Thanks.